Every Formula and open-wheel racing series explained. Formula One. Formula One is the undisputed king of motorsport. These aren't just the fastest circuit racing cars on the planet. They're technological masterpieces that cost $15 million each and use engineering that's 5 to 10 years ahead of anything on the road. The current power units are engineering marvels. The Mercedes-AMG F1 M13E Performance, Ferrari 6610, Honda R BPT-H1, and Renault E-Tech RE23 all produce over 1,000 horsepower from 1.6-liter V6 turbo hybrid systems. But it's the energy recovery that's truly insane. The MGU-K harvests 120 kilowatts, about 160 horsepower, from the rear axle, while the MGU-H recovers unlimited energy from the turbocharger. The ES system can deploy 4 megajoules per lap, giving drivers strategic power boosts. Each manufacturer has different philosophies. Mercedes focuses on electrical efficiency, Ferrari emphasizes combustion power, Honda optimizes for high-altitude circuits, and Renault balances reliability with performance. These differences create subtle performance variations across different circuits. The 2022 regulation changes brought back ground effect aerodynamics after being banned since 1982. These cars now use Venturi tunnels underneath to generate massive downforce. They could theoretically drive upside down at 120 miles per hour. The simplified front wing reduced outwash, 18-inch wheels replaced 13-inch wheels, and the beam wing was deleted entirely. Here's what's insane about modern F1. The cars can brake from 200 miles per hour to 50 miles per hour in just 2.9 seconds while harvesting energy through the MGU-K. The G-forces are so intense that drivers lose 3 to 4 kilograms of body weight during a single race. Their neck muscles develop to withstand 5G lateral forces through corners, like cops at Silverstone. The sprint weekend format adds complexity to 6 weekends per season. Sprint Shootout on Friday sets the grid for Saturday's 100-kilometer sprint race, which then determines Sunday's Grand Prix starting positions. The Sprint Race Awards points to the top 8 finishers and provides additional championship points opportunities. The cost cap introduced in 2021 changed everything. Teams can only spend $135 million per year on performance-related activities, which sounds massive until you realize Mercedes was spending over $400 million annually during their dominant period. This excludes driver salaries, marketing costs, and the top 3 highest-paid personnel. But F1's biggest problem is also its greatest strength: dominance cycles. Mercedes dominated 2014 to 2020 with superior hybrid integration and split turbo design. Now Red Bull dominates with their RB19's ground effect mastery and Adrian Newey's aerodynamic genius. It's frustrating for fans, but pushes technological boundaries like nothing else in motorsport. IndyCar. IndyCar is where things get properly mental. These cars look similar to F1, but they're designed for one terrifying purpose: pure speed on 230 miles per hour ovals, where 33 cars run 3 wide with inches between them. The Dallara IR12 chassis has been the spec since 2012, constantly updated annually, but fundamentally the same carbon fiber monocoque with integrated safety cell. The real battle is between Honda's HI23 RT and Chevrolet's 2.2-liter twin-turbo V6 engines. Both make around 700 horsepower, but their torquey curves are completely different philosophies. Honda's HI23 RT focuses on top-end power delivery with aggressive cam profiles and higher compression ratios, making it superior on superspeedways where sustained high RPM matters. Chevrolet's engine emphasizes mid-range torque with broader power delivery, giving better drivability on road courses and street circuits. At Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Indy cars average 230 miles per hour for 500 miles, faster than F1's top speed, sustained for 2.5 hours straight. The Universal Aero Kit, introduced in 2018, eliminated manufacturer-specific bodywork that had created dangerous aerodynamic instability. Now, all cars use identical aerodynamic packages, creating the closest racing in motorsport history. The entire field at Indianapolis qualifies within 4 to 5 miles per hour of each other, compared to F1, where pole position can be 2 to 3 seconds faster than the slowest qualifier. This creates pack racing, where slipstream effects and racecraft matter more than raw speed. Oval versus road course setups are completely different disciplines requiring different skills. Oval cars run maximum rear wing angles for stability, softened suspension geometry to handle banking loads, and specific gear ratios optimized for sustained high speeds. Road course setups prioritize mechanical grip with stiffer suspension, reduced wing angles for straight-line speed, and aerodynamic balance through technical sections. The danger factor is real. At 230 miles per hour, the margin for error is zero. One wrong move and you're airborne. Literally. The cars are designed with specific crash structures to fly backwards, keeping the cockpit away from barriers, but crashes at these speeds are always spectacular and often career-ending. The safer barriers and HANS devices have dramatically improved safety, but the inherent danger remains. What's brilliant about IndyCar is the accessibility. You can walk through the paddock, meet drivers, and see the cars up close. It's professional racing with a grassroots feel. Plus, the racing is often better than F1 because the cars are more equal and the slipstream effect on ovals creates constant overtaking opportunities. The Indy 500 is motorsport's biggest single-day sporting event. Over 300,000 people attend, making it larger than the Super Bowl and World Cup final combined. Winning it puts you in the same conversation as legends like AJ Foyt, Rick Mears, and Helio Castroneves. But here's how drivers get there. The Road to IndyCar ladder system is America's most comprehensive open-wheel development program. USF 2000 is the bottom rung, using Formula Ford-style cars with Mazda MZ-R 2-liter naturally aspirated engines making 170 horsepower. These cars teach the fundamentals of downforce and slick tires on the same circuits as IndyCar, including Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where they reach 140 miles per hour. Indy Pro 2000 steps up with Mazda MZ-R, 2.3-liter turbo engines making 300 horsepower, teaching advanced racecraft and tire management with significantly more downforce. Indy NXT uses the Dallara IL-15 chassis with AER 2-liter turbo engines making 450 horsepower. The championship winner receives a $1.35 million scholarship to compete in at least 3 IndyCar races, including the Indianapolis 500. Many current IndyCar stars came through this system. Joseph Newgarden, Colton Herta, Pato O'Ward, and Alex Palou all competed in the Road to Indy ladder. It works because drivers learn on the same circuits with progressive power levels, creating a direct pathway that the European system can't match. Formula E. Formula E proves electric racing isn't boring. These cars hit 200 miles per hour and sound like TIE fighters from Star Wars, creating some of the most intense street racing you've ever seen. Here's what people get wrong about Formula E. It's not a spec series. While everyone uses the same Spark SRT-05E chassis and McLaren applied battery, teams develop their own powertrains and software. Porsche's 99 X-Tang Electric uses a permanent magnet synchronous motor. Mercedes EQS-FE employs a different inverter design. Jaguar I-Type 6 focuses on software optimization. And Nissan E4 ORC04 emphasizes energy recovery efficiency. The Gen 3 cars are technological marvels. 350 kilowatts of power deployment, about 470 horsepower, with all-wheel drive in attack mode. But here's the insane part. They can regenerate up to 600 kilowatts under braking, nearly double their deployment power. That's more regenerative braking capability than any road car will ever have, recovering 40% of the energy used during a race. Attack mode is genius engineering. Drivers must drive through an activation zone off the racing line to get extra power and all-wheel drive, losing approximately 2 to 3 seconds to activate it, but gaining 50 kilowatts extra power for 4 minutes. The strategic timing of when to use attack mode creates incredible racing with multiple lead changes per race. What makes Formula E special is the format. They race on temporary street circuits in city centers, such as Monaco, New York, London, Tokyo, and Berlin. The tracks are tight, with limited overtaking opportunities, making energy management and attack mode strategy crucial. Teams employ the same level of simulation and strategy as F1. Formula E is also where manufacturers test technology for road cars. The advances in battery efficiency, motor design, inverter technology, and energy recovery directly benefit the electric cars you can buy today. Porsche's Taycan uses motor technology developed in Formula E. Mercedes applies software learnings to their EQS road car. The championship is incredibly competitive. In Season 9, we had 11 different winners in 16 races. Compare that to F1, where Max Verstappen won 19 out of 22 races in 2023. Formula E delivers unpredictable racing every weekend because the cars are so equal and energy management creates strategic variables. Formula 2. Formula 2 is F1's official feeder series, and it often provides better racing than the main event. These are spec series designed to showcase pure driver talent without the engineering advantages that dominate F1. Formula 2 uses the Dallara F2 2018 chassis with a Mechachrome V6 turbo making 620 horsepower at 8,750 RPM. These cars are actually faster than F1 cars from the early 2000s and use Pirelli P0 compounds with strategic tire changes. The cars weigh 755 kilograms, including the driver, and use a 6-speed sequential gearbox with paddle shifts. They race on the same weekends as F1, using identical circuits. So it's a direct comparison of driver skill. The current F1 grid is packed with F2 graduates. George Russell dominated F2 in 2018 before joining Williams. Lando Norris finished second in 2018 before McLaren. Charles Leclerc won in 2017 before Ferrari. And Oscar Piastri crushed the field in 2021 before McLaren. What makes F2 special is the format. Sprint races with reverse grids create incredible action as the fastest drivers fight through the field. The feature race on Sunday uses free tire choice and mandatory pit stops, while Saturday's sprint race has reverse top 10 grid and no pit stops required. The cars are identical, so success comes down to racecraft, tire management, and raw speed under pressure. DRS zones are strategically placed to enhance overtaking, and the Pirelli compounds degrade predictably, creating strategic tire windows. Formula 3. Formula 3 uses the Dallara F3 2019 chassis with a Mechachrome 3.4-liter V6 naturally aspirated engine making 380 horsepower at 8,000 RPM. The cars weigh just 550 kilograms, including the driver, giving them a power-to-weight ratio of 690 horsepower per ton, similar to a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. It's where 16 to 18-year-olds first experience proper downforce and slick tires. The cars generate significant downforce through their front and rear wings, teaching young drivers how aerodynamics affect handling and tire wear. The Pirelli P0 slick tires provide mechanical grip levels far beyond anything in karting. The racing is often more exciting than F1 because the cars are equal, drivers are hungrier, and they take bigger risks fighting for their careers. One bad season can end F1 dreams forever, creating intense pressure and spectacular racing. The championship uses a 3-race weekend format, with qualifying determining Race 1 grid, Race 1 results setting Race 2 grid, and a reverse top 12 grid for Race 3. The cars use a 6-speed sequential gearbox with paddle shifts, carbon fiber monocoques for safety, and sophisticated suspension systems that teach drivers about setup and balance. Many current F1 stars dominated F3. Max Verstappen won the European F3 Championship in 2014. Charles Leclerc won GP3, now F3 in 2016. Formula Regional Championships. Formula Regional fills the crucial gap between F4 and F3, and it's become essential in the modern ladder system. This is where raw karting talent transforms into professional racing skill through proper downforce cars and advanced racecraft. Formula Regional European Championship, FRECA, is the premier series, using the Tatuus F.3 T318 chassis with an Alfa Romeo 1.75-liter turbo, making 270 horsepower at 6,500 RPM. These cars feature ground effect tunnels, DRS systems, and sophisticated aerodynamics that generate significant downforce. Proper preparation for F3's complexity. Freca runs 30 cars across 10 rounds on legendary European circuits, including Imola, Monza, Red Bull Ring, and Spa-Francorchamps. The competition is brutal because every driver knows this is their shot at the European ladder system. Oscar Piastri dominated here in 2019, winning 8 races before his F3 and F2 championships. Formula Regional Americas Championship uses the Ligier JSF 3 chassis with a Honda K 20C 2.0-liter turbo, making 270 horsepower. The same engine architecture from the Civic Type R, but heavily modified for racing. The series runs on iconic American circuits like Road America, Watkins Glen, and Circuit of the Americas. Logan Sargent won this championship in 2020, scoring 5 victories before moving to F3 and eventually becoming the first American F1 driver since 2015 with Williams. The series provides crucial experience on American circuits while maintaining FIA standards. Formula Regional Middle East Championship runs as a winter series from January to March, using Tatuus chassis with Abarth 1.4-liter turbo engines. It's become crucial for drivers wanting extra seat time during the European off-season, with many F3 and F2 drivers participating to stay sharp. Formula Regional Oceania Championship covers Australia and New Zealand during their summer, January-February, using the same Tatuus F.3 T-318 chassis as Freca. It runs on challenging circuits like Mount Panorama, Manfield, and Hampton Downs, providing crucial experience for Asia-Pacific drivers. Formula Regional Indian Championship serves the growing Indian market with Tatuus chassis and Abarth engines, running on circuits like Bud International Circuit and Madras Motor Racetrack. It's the premier open-wheel series for the Indian subcontinent. What makes Formula Regional important is that it teaches energy management, tire degradation, and aerodynamic effects without F2's complexity. Drivers learn to manage Pirelli slick tires across different compounds and deal with significant aerodynamic effects for the first time. The cars are fast enough to be challenging, but forgiving enough for development. Formula 4. Formula 4 is where the professional journey begins. A comprehensive global network of regional series, using similar FIA regulations, but adapted to local conditions, racing cultures, and economic realities. F4. United States uses the Ligier JS F4 chassis, with Honda's Civic Type RK20 C1 engine making 160 horsepower. This is where American drivers choose between the European ladder system or the IndyCar development path. F4. British Championship uses the Tatuus F.4 T014 chassis, with Ford's EcoBoost 1.6-liter turbo. Lando Norris dominated in 2015 with 10 wins. George Russell won in 2014 with 11 victories. The pathway from F4 British to F1 is well established. F4 German Championship, ADAC-F4, emphasizes technical precision and engineering excellence with the same Tatuus chassis, but with Abarth 1.4-liter turbo engines. The German approach teaches data analysis and setup optimization. F4. Japanese Championship uses the unique Dome F1 11.3 chassis with Toyota's naturally aspirated engine, emphasizing precision and feeding directly into Super Formula. Emerging markets including Chinese, Indian, Brazilian, and UAE championships serve regional development using standardized Tatuus chassis, while European networks in Italy, Spain, Netherlands, and Scandinavia create multiple pathways into European racing. The costs typically range from $150,000 to $250,000 per season, with cars designed to be challenging enough to teach proper racecraft, but forgiving enough for teenage drivers to learn safely. The series feeds directly into Super Formula, with many drivers using it as preparation for Japan's premier open-wheel championship. The naturally aspirated engine provides different power delivery characteristics compared to turbocharged F4 series. Super Formula. Super Formula is Japan's premier open-wheel series and might be the most underrated championship in the world. These cars are faster than F2, nearly as quick as F1, and the racing is absolutely spectacular with some of the closest competition in motorsport. The cars use the Dallara SF23 chassis, a carbon fiber monocoque with ground effect tunnels, halo safety device, and sophisticated aerodynamics. The real battle is between Honda's HR417E and Toyota's RTSF23 engines. Both are naturally aspirated 2-liter units, making 550 horsepower at 7,000 RPM, but their philosophies are completely different. Honda's HR417E focuses on high RPM power delivery, with aggressive cam profiles, higher compression ratios, and optimized intake systems for maximum top-end power. Toyota's RTSF23 emphasizes mid-range torque, with broader power delivery, better drivability, and superior fuel efficiency for race distance. The sound difference is incredible. Honda screams like an F1 engine with a metallic edge at high RPM, while Toyota has a deeper, more muscular note with better low-end grunt. Both engines rev to 7,000 RPM, but deliver power completely differently. The circuits are world-class challenges that test every aspect of car and driver performance. Suzuka's 5.807-kilometer figure-8 layout, with the legendary 130R corner and technical S's section. Fuji Speedway's 4.563-kilometer high-speed layout, with the 1.5-kilometer main straight that rewards aerodynamic efficiency. Twin-ring Motegi's unique 2.493-kilometer oval road course hybrid. And Autopolis's 4.674-kilometer technical mountain circuit, with significant elevation changes. Lap times at Suzuka are only 3 to 4 seconds slower than F1, which is remarkable considering the budget difference. A Super Formula season costs around $2 million, compared to F1's $135 million budget cap. The performance per dollar ratio is incredible. What makes Super Formula special is the driver quality. Current and former F1 drivers regularly compete, Stoffel Vandoorne, Nyck de Vries, Kamui Kobayashi, Pierre Gasly, and Romain Grosjean have all raced here. It's considered one of the best training grounds for F1 outside of Europe. The championship uses manufacturer-specific aerodynamic bodywork, creating visual differences between Honda and Toyota entries. DRS zones are strategically placed at Suzuka's main straight and Degner curves, Fuji's main straight, and Motegi's oval section to enhance overtaking opportunities. Super Formula serves as a development platform for Japanese manufacturers. Honda and Toyota use it to test engine technology, aerodynamic concepts, hybrid systems, and develop young drivers for international racing. Many Super Formula champions have succeeded in F1, IndyCar, and sports car racing. Toyota Racing Series. Toyota Racing Series is New Zealand's summer championship, January-February, and one of the most important training grounds in world motorsport. It uses older generation Tatuus FT40 cars, based on F3 specifications, with Toyota 2 ZRF-E 1.8-liter naturally aspirated engines making 245 horsepower. The series runs on challenging circuits, including Manfield Circuit, Chrysamon, Hampton Downs Motorsport Park, Taratanga Park, and Highlands Motorsport Park. These circuits provide unique challenges with elevation changes, technical sections, and varying weather conditions. What makes TRS special is the international driver quality and timing. Lando Norris won TRS in 2016 before his F1 career. Lance Stroll dominated in 2015. Yuki Tsunoda competed in 2019. Liam Lawson won in 2020 before F1. And Oscar Piastri used it for winter training in 2019. It's where European-based drivers maintain race fitness during the off-season while learning new circuits and gaining valuable seat time. The 5-weekend championship runs from January to February, perfectly timed for European drivers' winter break. The naturally aspirated engines provide different power delivery characteristics compared to turbocharged European series, teaching drivers adaptability and car control. MRF Challenge. MRF Challenge is India's premier winter series, running from November to February, when European racing is dormant. It uses older F2000 cars with MRF, developed 2-liter naturally aspirated engines, making approximately 210 horsepower, providing crucial seat time for both international and Indian drivers. The series runs on circuits including Madras Motor Race Track, Bood International Circuit, and Bahrain International Circuit. It attracts international drivers seeking seat time, and Indian drivers gaining experience against global competition, creating a unique mixing of talent levels. Many European F3 and F2 drivers use MRF Challenge to stay sharp during winter, while Indian drivers get invaluable experience racing against international competition. The series has become a crucial stepping stone for Indian motorsport development. Asian Formula 3 Championship. Asian Formula 3 Championship serves the rapidly growing Asian market using current generation Dallara F3 2019 chassis with Mechachrome, 3.4-liter V6 naturally aspirated engines, identical to European F3 specifications. This ensures direct performance comparison and maintains FIA standards. The series runs on world-class circuits, including Suzuka, Fuji Speedway, Sepang International Circuit, Buriram International Circuit, and Shanghai International Circuit. These venues provide excellent preparation for drivers seeking international recognition. It's become crucial for Asian drivers seeking European opportunities, and European drivers wanting additional seat time in competitive machinery. The championship maintains high technical standards while being more accessible than European F3 in terms of logistics and costs. Skip Barber Formula Series. Skip Barber Formula Series is America's premier training ground for professional racing, using purpose-built Formula cars with Dodge 2-liter naturally aspirated engines, making 125 horsepower. The cars weigh 545 kilograms and use a 5-speed sequential gearbox with H-pattern shifting to teach fundamental techniques. It's where drivers learn racecraft fundamentals, including proper racing lines, overtaking techniques, and car control without the complexity of advanced aerodynamics or high power levels. Many NASCAR Cup Series and IndyCar drivers credit Skip Barber with teaching them the basics of professional racing. The series runs on technical circuits like Lime Rock Park, Road America, and Watkins Glen, providing excellent preparation for road course racing. The school aspect includes classroom instruction on racing theory, data analysis, and professional driving techniques. Formula Vee. Formula Vee represents grassroots open-wheel racing at its purest. These cars use 1600cc Volkswagen air-cooled flat-4 engines, making about 80 horsepower at 5,500 RPM. But they weigh just 1,000 pounds, including driver. The power-to-weight ratio creates surprisingly quick acceleration and teaches fundamental car control. The tube frame chassis and simple suspension teach fundamental racing skills without electronic aids, complex aerodynamics, or high power levels. The cars use bias ply tires and basic suspension geometry, requiring drivers to develop smooth inputs and precise car control. Many professional drivers credit Formula Vee with teaching them racecraft and car control that served them throughout their careers. The racing is incredibly close because the cars are so equal, with victories often decided by thousandths of seconds. W Series. W Series was the world's first all-female single-seater championship using identical Tatuus F3 T318 chassis with Alfa Romeo 1.75-liter turbo engines making 270 horsepower. The same specification as Formula Regional European Championship. Though currently suspended due to financial issues, it provided a crucial platform for female drivers. The series proved that female drivers could compete at the highest levels when given equal machinery. The championship ran from 2019 to 2022 on circuits including Silverstone, Zandvoort, Red Bull Ring, and Circuit of the Americas, providing international exposure for female talent. Several W Series graduates moved into other professional racing categories, breaking barriers in motorsport. Jamie Chadwick won the first two championships, 2019-2021, before joining Andretti's IndyCar development program. Alice Powell, Beitske Visser, and Marta Garcia all progressed to other professional series. The series used a scholarship system where the champion received $500,000 toward further racing opportunities, with points-based prizes for other finishers. This financial support was crucial for female drivers who often face additional funding challenges in motorsport. Historic Formula Racing. Historic Formula Racing preserves motorsport heritage through several active series that keep classic racing cars competing at the highest levels. Formula Junior recreates 1950s to 60s racing, with period-correct cars using 1100cc engines based on production car units. These cars represent the beginning of the modern Formula ladder system, when young drivers first had purpose-built racing cars rather than modified road cars. The cars use drum brakes, narrow tires, and basic suspension systems that require completely different driving techniques compared to modern racing cars. Drivers must develop smooth inputs and precise car control without modern safety systems or performance aids. Historic Formula One features genuine 1970s to 80s F1 cars still competing at historic events, preserving the sound and spectacle of motorsport's golden era. These are the actual cars that legends like James Hunt, Niki Lauda, Mario Andretti, and Ayrton Senna drove to championship victories. The cars use period-correct specifications, including ground effect aerodynamics, 1978 to 1982, turbo engines producing 1,000 plus horsepower in qualifying trim, and manual gearboxes requiring heel and toe downshifting. Many are worth millions of dollars and represent irreplaceable motorsport history. Formula 5000 Revival brings back the thunderous 5-liter V8 single-seaters that dominated American racing in the 1970s. These cars made over 500 horsepower from naturally aspirated Chevrolet V8 engines and created some of the most spectacular racing of the era. The cars weigh just 1,400 pounds and produce incredible acceleration and sound. They require different driving techniques compared to modern downforce cars, emphasizing mechanical grip and driver skill over aerodynamic performance. Formula Atlantic continues as a historic series, preserving the cars that served as a stepping stone to IndyCar and F1 in the 1970s and 1980s. Many current team owners, officials, and industry figures raced in Formula Atlantic during their careers. Boss GP features historic F1 and GP2 cars from the 1990s to 2000s, allowing fans to see and hear these legendary machines in competitive action. The series includes cars like the Jordan 191, Benetton B194, and various GP2 chassis. Euro Formula Open serves as an F3 level series using older Dallara chassis with various engine options, providing competitive racing at a lower cost than current F3. It attracts drivers seeking seat time in downforce cars without the expense of current generation series. Formula and open-wheel racing represents the most comprehensive driver development system in motorsport. From university students building Formula student cars to Lewis Hamilton battling in F1, from female drivers proving themselves in W Series to historic enthusiasts preserving Formula Junior, this ecosystem covers every aspect of single-seater racing. The global ladder system works because it's progressive, merit-based, and accessible at multiple levels. Whether you're a teenager in New Zealand using TRS as winter training, an Indian driver gaining experience in MRF Challenge, or an American working through the IndyCar ladder, there's a pathway to professional racing. The technology developed across all these series, from Formula Student innovation to F1 hybrid systems, eventually makes road cars safer, faster, and more efficient. The skills learned in Formula Vee racecraft translate directly to F1 championship battles. This isn't just racing, it's the most comprehensive talent identification and development system in world sport, ensuring that the fastest drivers rise to the top regardless of their starting point or background. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more car stories and breakdowns, and let us know if we missed any. See you in the next video.